If Pyros and Crips all got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song. Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear drop, 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 drop.
Okay, next we will talk about the Bengals-Titans game. Now, you know, Bengals, they're one of those teams that it's easy to root for them, man. Because Cincinnati has been trashed for a long ass time. Even when they had Andy Dalton, we never really thought of them as a Super Bowl contender. We thought of them as like this one and done type of playoff team every year. But now with Joe Burrow, you know, everyone's saying this is going to be a Super Bowl contender for many years to come. You know, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, those two are going to battle it out. I don't know who the hell the Browns QB is going to be. I don't know who the hell the Steelers QB is going to be. But the thing we do know is Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson will battle that motherfucker out for the division for the next 20 years. So, back to this shit. I think that the Bengals got this. And the reason I think the Bengals got this is because I think this game is going to be a shootout. I don't think this game is going to be like a defensive type of game because of the fact that both these teams' secondaries are not really that impressive. Now, their pass rushes are great. They have good-ass pass rushes. Both teams have good-ass run defenses. But in terms of secondary, like, the Titans' secondary is not that good. Like, who do they have? Like, Janoris Jenkins? You know what I mean? Christian Fulton? Like, Caleb Farley, I don't even think has played at all this season. So their corners are not really that impressive. You know what I mean? Now, I get Kevin Byard is a beast. I understand that. But you cannot have a safety carry your defense. Same thing for the Bengals. I know they have Jesse Bates, but you cannot have a safety carry your secondary. You need some decent corners. Now, people are saying the Chiefs, blah, blah, blah. But when they won the Super Bowl that year, they had Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller is like a Pro Bowler level talent in Washington. They had Kendall Fuller. They had Rashad Breeland, who was at least decent at that time. Yeah, now he's fucking trash, but they had good enough corners. But the Bengals' best corner is probably Chidobe Awuzie. I don't know if that's going to get done, man. I really don't know if that's going to get done. There's a lot of corners that are in this year's draft that they could probably draft. There's one that's actually from Cincinnati. His name is like Ahmad Gardner. But, and then there's also the Titans. Like I said, their corners are kind of unimpressive. I think they need to work on their secondary when the offseason comes. I really do. I think that secondary really needs some work for both teams, honestly. But the reason why is because I think Joe Burrow, if this dude can beat Mahomes in a shootout, he could definitely beat fucking Ryan Tannehill in a shootout. Because you gotta think about this way too. Both their running backs are not going to really contribute that much because both teams have a great run defense. And Derrick Henry is just coming off a major injury. So even if he does come back, is he going to be 100%? And this also leads me to another thing. Even with him like being 100%, all that shit, is there a real case that you can make that Joe Mixon has surpassed Derrick Henry? I know it's crazy to think, but if you really think about it, because Joe Mixon, he's shiftier, he's faster, he can catch the ball unlike Derrick Henry, who's just like a pure runner. You know, so he's like a multi-purpose back. He's like an all-purpose back type of guy. And like he's been injured for many years, but this is like one of the few times that Joe Mixon has actually been healthy all season. So there really is a good case that that this guy Joe Mixon, there's a good case you can make that he has surpassed Derrick Henry. Now obviously I don't 100% believe that. But I think there's a very good argument you can make towards Joe Mixon. Now, in terms of Jonathan Taylor, there is also an argument about Jonathan Taylor being better than Derrick Henry at this point. But, I mean, are all those guys actually better than Derrick Henry? We'll have to see we'll have to see next year when everyone's healthy again. But for the time being, the fact that it's even an argument makes this worrisome. Because the one thing that the Titans can hang their hat on whenever they go against any team is like, haha, we got Derrick Henry and you don't. But now a bunch of other teams are like, haha, fuck you, we got Jonathan Taylor. The Bengals are like, haha, fuck you, we got Joe Mixon. You know what I mean? So a lot of other teams, you know, they got their own shit going on. And then the Bengals, another reason that I think they'll win is the Bengals receiving core is way better than the Titans receiving core. Because I get A.J. Brown is a stud, but he's not better than Jamar Chase. Let's stop the cap. You know what I mean? Julio Jones has been washed this entire season. I think he's played like 7 games. Like, Julio Jones has just... There's a reason the Falcons traded him. I mean, it'd be great if the Falcons still had him, because they don't even have Calvin Ridley anymore. But Julio Jones is just done, bro. It's over. This dude's probably going to retire in like the next 2 years. Like, this dude's completely washed up. This dude can't stay healthy, like, ever. Like, literally, this dude can never stay healthy anymore at this point. So that shit is over. So all they really gotta do is they gotta just double A.J. Brown, and then they're gonna try to have Julio beat them over the top, because they still got Jesse Bates, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if Julio Jones can burn people down the field anymore. With all the injuries he's had over the years, he might be able to catch shit over people, but in terms of actually burning people down the field, I don't know if he could do that anymore, honestly. You know what I mean? They probably would have been better off just keeping a guy like fucking Corey Davis, but they probably didn't want to pay Corey Davis that much. But you're paying Julio Jones the same amount of money you paid Corey Davis, and Corey Davis was actually balling out for the Jets. Meanwhile, Julio Jones looks washed up as shit. So, who's the real winner here? I don't know. And then I don't know who the hell their tight end is. I don't know who the hell the Titans tight end is. Like, I think it was Anthony Ferguson, but I don't even know if he's starting anymore. But like, CJ Uzomah is pretty underrated. All things being said, I didn't think the Bengals had a tight end either, but this season has taught me that CJ Uzomah is actually, he's not the best tight end in the world, but he gets the job done. That he definitely gets the job done. I don't think they need to look for a replacement if they have CJ Uzomah. You know, he's definitely a starting level tight end. He definitely gets the job done. He sometimes even steps up to the big moments, like we saw in that Ravens game a few weeks back. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, the Bengals, they just overall have a better receiving core. The pass rushing on both sides is kind of even. You know what I mean? I would say, you know, the Titans might have an edge. Who knows? I mean, but everyone talks about the Bengals O-line still being... But the Titans O-line literally gave up 5 sacks just to Chandler Jones. You know, I'm pretty sure they gave up like 8 sacks that game. But we all know which game I'm talking about. Like, it's not like they're impressive by any means, man. It's not like... Yeah, it's not like... Yeah, it's not like the Titans O-line is that good either. You know, Taylor Lewan is starting to look washed up. What is it? Like, Roger Saffold is getting old. Ben Jones is getting old. Like, I don't know who the hell is on their right side ever since they got rid of Conklin. I think Nate Davis is probably their best offensive lineman at this point. But the Titans' offensive line is also kind of looking shaky. Like, they're getting old, they're looking shaky. You know, there's a bunch of shit going on with the Titans' offensive line. So, yeah. Like I said, the Bengals, they have a shaky line, but the Titans also have a shaky line. Both secondaries are kind of iffy. Both run defenses are really good. But at the end of the day, the thing I think will prevail them is the Bengals have weapons for days. And the Bengals have weapons for days, and the Titans, outside of A.J. Brown, really don't, because Julio Jones is just not the same. He might show out and prove me wrong, but from everything I've seen from the last 2 years, I could safely say that this dude is not the same. If he was the same, I could say he could take him to the Super Bowl, but this is not 2016 Julio Jones anymore. This is not 2015, like a 1.8K Julio Jones anymore. This is not that Julio Jones anymore, man. He's not the same Julio Jones that we saw make that one catch in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That tippy toe catch in the Super Bowl. He's not that guy anymore, man. If he can be that guy, you can make a case the Titans can go to the Super Bowl. But I just don't think he can be that guy, and I don't think the Titans are really that good of a number 1 seed. The only reason the Titans got the number 1 seed was because the Chiefs choked to the Bengals in the first place. You know what I mean? If the Chiefs never choked to the Bengals, the Chiefs would have gotten the number 1 seed. And I don't even know how good they are. So the AFC is honestly a big mess this year. Whoever comes out of the NFC, I could safely say is going to be the Super Bowl champion. Because out of those 4 teams, out of the Buccaneers, the Packers, the 49ers, or the Rams, well, other than the 49ers, because Jimmy G is just not good. But, out of the Packers, the Buccaneers, and the Rams, I could make a good case that all those 3 teams will beat anyone coming out of the AFC. Except maybe Buffalo. But Buffalo, Josh Allen has been inconsistent all year long. All year long. Every time you think he's good, he turns out to be trash. So, I got the Bengals. I think this is going to be a very, very high scoring game. This is going to be a shootout type of game. And Ryan Tannehill typically has not done good in shootouts. They try to have him do good in a shootout against the Chiefs. This man lost. Now he's better than he was a couple years ago. But still, I think Cincinnati wins 38-30. I think they try to convert on the last possession. They fail. You know what I mean? They would have needed to convert 2-point conversion anyway. I don't know why the fuck Pete Davidson is on my screen right now. But, yeah. Final prediction. Bengals 30. Bengals 38. Titans 30. Bengals win. Bengals move on to the AFC Championship for the first time in I don't know how many years. I'm not even going to try to count how many years. Well, that being said, I'm out. Peace.